Hey, buddy.
Man, how you doing?
Very good.
Yeah,
Not too bad, mate. I love it. I love it how every single time it's like, hi. We didn't have like a bunch of time setting up. We're just pretending that we've just seen each other the first time.
This is rare because we actually have had plenty of time to sort of chat before today.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a short episode today, so we've just got nothing else to talk about.
Yeah.
So thank you for listening. We'll see you next week.
Yeah, bye. It's so honey.
One of these days we'll be able to do that.
Just for a peek behind the curtain, all that we do when we turn up is we look at our phones and don't talk to each other.
Yeah. Yes, and we often sometimes discuss things that we're not allowed to talk about on air, or would rather not talk about on air. So make sure you see a doctor about that.
Yeah,
okay,
thank you.
Cool.
Yeah.
And
Does
we'll
look infected.
yeah. So yeah, we were talking about that.
The Sum 41 album.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. Anyway, so how you doing, boy? What you been doing?
Right, man. Yeah. So I've had a week. I haven't even looked at what I've actually been up to, and I have no recollection of anything past this morning because I have been doing my tax return and I've been applying for insurance and various stuff.
You can get that through the Musicians Union.
Yes. I was using another company who I've used before, and they're really good. So I was on the phone to them for about an hour this morning.
Oh, great. Just listing off what gear you've got and how much you've paid for it. So.
Yeah.
Yay, that sounds really painful.
And I realise I've got a lot of gear.
Yeah.
Like, they're like, okay, so that comes to 7,000. What?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
What?
What?
I was just like, yeah, I just didn't realise, but as he was listing it, he's got this with this much, and I was just like, what? And I was like, okay.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's better to be safe than sorry, I suppose. I mean, because with the Musicians Union, you do get just £2,000 worth of kit cover. But a lot of people don't know that you have to activate it. You actually have to call up the company and that they have listed as their insurer and list off all the gear that you've got, which is just as fun as what you were saying.
Yeah.
But again, £2,000 worth of equipment cover is just about one guitar for some people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. Like the way they work. This company's called Music Guard. I definitely say check them out.
Yeah, I've seen them before. Yeah.
Yeah. And he was like, okay, have you got any equipment that's over £700? I said, yes, I've got a 1977 Telecaster. I think they're about £1,500 value.
Is that the one you were trying to sell?
Yes.
Yeah.
Still trying to sell.
Yeah.
Anyone who's interested, let us know.
Lovely. It's a lovely guitar, I would say.
And I was like, I want it in the I need it in the insurance, really, because that's probably worth more than most of my stuff put together.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to sell it. He's like, well, you can just take it off the insurance later on. But that, like, anything over £700, you have to declare. So I declared that. And he's like, okay, so what value? I'll go, this, and overall value. Is that including the guitar? Oh, no, it's not. Okay, so that's right. And then, I realised how much stuff I've got.
Yeah,
and
just happens, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But, it's one of those industries where you just kind of have to have a load of gear just in case. There's some stuff will just sit there collecting dust, but then one day somebody will be like, I need this. And you're like, oh, okay. Yeah. It was like with the Flipper, Richard Hawkins. I was part of Dolphin Music, and I worked with them for years. And I had to, for the Halloween show last year that we did a UV party. Yeah. And I just sort of messaged him out of the blue, just like, do you have any UV cannons or any UV lights or something like that? He's like, yeah, I've had them for years, but nobody's ever asked for them or used them. He's like, fine, I can make some money out of them. And then I took them back to him, and he was just like, yeah, because somebody else has just asked for them now. He's like, now loads of people want them now. So very strange.
Wow.
Well, so
you started a trend.
I don't know about that. It's just, sometimes buses, isn't it?
Yeah. UV buses.
Yeah, UV buses come at the same time. If you're a bee and you can see in ultraviolet.
Yes, just bees.
You've shaved.
I have.
You shaved. I like it.
Do you like it? I don't. I can see my chin. I don't like. I realised this whilst I was doing this. I've never seen my dad's chin.
What? Oh, you got to sample that one now.
Yeah. We got to have both.
What?
I've never seen my dad's chin. He's always ever since I've known him, which is from birth, pretty much. He's always had a beard.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
It
was a couple of seconds before when I.
Well, I have caught you in a lie, Harley Cotton.
Have you?
Well, because you said behind your beard was Chuck Norris's fist, and no, it just looks like your chin. Actually, your dad's chin. I've seen your dad's chin.
You've seen my dad's chin.
Yes, I have.
How can you really say you know someone if you've never seen their chin?
Well, yeah, that's true.
That's it. Like, I've never seen your.
I'm very
jaw.
much framed. Yeah, nobody,
Yeah.
there hasn't
Actually,
nobody's
that's
seen
a
my
lie,
jaw
I
for a
have.
while. Yeah, for a
But-
long time.
It's yeah, no, that's a weird one. Yes,
Thank you.
I gave Chuck Norris his fist back.
Oh, good. There you go. Is he just sitting there with like a stump that's bleeding, and you're like, "Here you go, buddy."
Oh no, it's cauterized.
How
Chuck Norris doesn't bleed.
Oh, so you did it with a lightsaber. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
How was Laura's birthday? Laura
It was
Climpsom's
really good.
birthday?
So that's why I kind of got the mutton chops.
Yeah.
Is because Laura Climpsom of the Mementos and South Andorra, she has had her birthday party, which was ever so fun. And it was a country theme.
Yes.
She loves her country music, all of that kind of stuff. And I did say afterwards, I'm not a massive country fan, but there are a lot of massive country fans there.
Right.
The music was provided by Rob Lewis,
Very
the
nice.
Last Gunfighter.
Yes.
And like he played all the best tunes of his arsenal and some really good songs, and there were songs that I'd heard before that he'd played before, and I was like, I'm really into this because I've heard it a couple of times. Did a couple of sort of mainstream country tracks, and had everybody up and dancing and singing along.
Nice.
I actually joined him on bass for a part of the second set, and we also had Rob Climpson, which meant I really wanted to change my name to Dob, because then we could have been called Two Robs and a Dob.
Okay.
But I only just thought of that, and then it's the moment's gone. So
Mr. Robber.
Mr. Robber, and Mr. Robber, and Dob.
Hippos.
So we did that, and we also had Dean Vineyard. I don't know if you know Dean.
No.
He moved. Wait, let's start that sentence again. Multitasking. I'm not doing a very good job. Yeah, he's a singer. He's sung with the Mementos before. He does his own sort of thing. We talked about doing some band stuff for a little while. And he's an incredible singer. And he's also a very good front man. He knows how to hype a crowd up. He's come from a long stint at doing sort of holiday parks, and so he really knows how to sort of hold a crowd very well.
Nice.
But he joined on Cajon for a couple of songs and did very well, and it was just a really good laugh.
Cool.
Music, well, we stopped playing at about midnight, I think, but we were still drinking and dancing until about 2:00 in the morning, and it was quite a night.
What was the venue?
It was at Bradford Golf Club.
What was it like? Was it hall?
It's a small hall. It's
Yeah.
not. It's probably about a little bit bigger than the Smokehouse.
Okay, cool. Stage?
Not on a stage, no. It was more of it's more like just a hall, really.
Nice.
But it was a lovely place. She put up wanted posters of pictures of her friends in embarrassing situations, and her.
Was there one to rob?
Yeah, I'm sure there were. I didn't get to see.
I really hope
they
I
were
get to
all
see
around
that.
the wall, and then they had lovely Southern Fried Chicken, which was incredible. So we were well fed.
Nice.
We were well watered and well entertained throughout the evening.
That's awesome.
And Laura was very delicate the next day.
Oh, I
so
bet.
I hear.
Was it her
So she
30th?
should be. Yes.
I don't want to call that out on
Sure.
I mean, she looks 21.
She does.
But that's a good reason to be delicate the next day.
Oh yeah, you got to go. You got to leave your 20s with a bang.
Yeah.
And she certainly did.
Yeah.
I don't think I think her birthday's this week. I probably should
Cool.
check. I don't know. I don't remember Friends things. And yeah, it was great. It was a really good evening. So that was my my Saturday.
What did you take? What kind of gear did you take?
I literally plugged my bass into my pedal board and then went into the PA from there.
All right.
Because it was all acoustic. There were no amps as such.
What bass?
My P bass, the black one.
All right. Yeah, the
Black
one
and
that
red
you
one.
have modded up.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes. With more muds to come, I think. I'm going to put new string. No, I'm not, because I left those at home. I just realised I was going to restring it today, and I left the strings at home.
Classic. I know.
Classic.
Some tiny things you always forget.
Yes, I have got
Yeah.
other plans for that bass, actually. We were
This
discussing...
is a sacrifice to the Lord Mumm-Ra.
Yes. We were discussing on Friday at the gig. We'll talk about that in your section. And, yeah, about how I've started playing my bass with the neck tilted forwards. which is very easy to do when sitting down because you kind of rest it on your leg and arc it forwards. It makes it so much easier in your wrist. And I want to try and find a way that I can do that.
So you're going to do it on the P bass?
Yeah, because it's a cheap bass. It's it's not a real Fender. It's just a copy that I picked up one day and went,
you teach
this
on
plays
that
really
quite a
well.
lot, don't you?
Yeah, and I teach on it because it's a very cheap bass, so I can leave it out, and if a kid accidentally knocks it down over, when you're doing a gig, you're going to have a stand with you, or you're going to put it in a case. When you're teaching, you don't always have those luxuries of somewhere to put your bass, especially when you're going through different rooms. So cheap basses, it means I'm a little bit less precious about it.
Bashing it about.
Yeah, and if a kid needs a bass, if their bass breaks, I can give them mine. I've done that before, and they don't, they appreciate when you let them use your instrument as well, and they really do.
I've done that with my Gretsch Rancher,
Yeah.
my big red acoustic that has a golden Bigsby on it, and looks like nothing I've ever seen. And it's funny, I've been to students have broken their strings when they're doing a plug and play or something like this, and I'll just be like, right, just play this one instead. You just see them just like,
Yeah.
yeah. It's like, wow, it looks expensive, and man, this is much bigger than me.
It's not a small guitar, is it?
No,
It's full
it's
dreadnought, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, cool. I've started at a weird point in your week. What else did you do during the week, sir?
So, I don't know. What did I do? Thursday night. Now, Thursday night was a fun one. It was a late one, too.
Aye.
I was with... we did a rock project, but me and Rayna shot off to Area 51 Studios. And we worked on some backing tracks for Jesus of Suburbia.
Oh, crazy.
And it was really good. Rayna is an excellent singer.
He is good, isn't he? Yeah.
And he's got all the performance for that kind of music. Loads of energy. We double tracked a lot of the parts. We dropped it in and out in the right places, and we were going for like full on. What's the word? We were trying to get as close to sort of the real sound as possible. Which isn't easy to replicate those kind of sounds, especially when you've got
studios, isn't they? Like, no offense, but
when it came out,
you've got millions of pounds in your budget.
American Idiot was the loudest album of its time.
Really,
there was no rock album that was louder than it in terms of its RMS.
And you forget, as growing up, that's a concept album. Like it's a full-on concept album with a well-fleshed out story that has very nuanced discussion on subcultures in the US around sort of the Iraq War and things like this, and it sort of lost on a lot of people when we were younger. Yeah. But then you grow into it and you're just like, oh man, a lot of people hated on this because it was really emo or something like that. But it was really well thought out, actual, going straight for the jugular, and it really stands test of time, I think. And
when I was working on the vocals, I had the vocals soloed. I was timing because when you double track vocals, you've got to make sure that when I talk about double track, Rayna will record a line and then he'll record that line again, singing the same note, and you'll get this kind of double effect. It makes it sound thicker and it gives you just more just body to your sound, kind of like putting like a chorus effect, but a slightly more natural way of doing that.
Dave Grohl did that a lot.
He's known for always doing it.
Foo Fighters, yeah.
I think there's only a handful of instances where he doesn't double track his vocals. And that's how he gets his sound. It would probably sound odd if you heard his voice on its own. Yeah. I mean, he does it live all the time, but...
well, he double tracks his voice live all the time.
Yeah.
Hello. Wait. Hello.
Right, now let's just clip those two together.
Yeah. Okay, everybody. It takes you about half an hour to get through any song.
Well, it usually does anyway.
Yeah, because everybody's singing back to him.
Yeah.
They're not allowed to leave the stage. Just about American Idiot for a second there. There's an awesome YouTube channel that I've talked about on this show before called Polyphonic.
I watched some of their stuff.
Yeah. And he did a version. He did a breakdown of American Idiot, talking about the lyrical content of it, and just how they recorded it, etc. Goes really in depth into it. If you're a Green Day fan, check out that video on YouTube. I'll link it in the description.
Nice. Well, that's it. Well, whilst I was editing the vocals and had them soloed and was listening to each word to get it perfectly in place, I was like, I'm getting the music now. I'm getting the words. Sometimes, bearing in mind, I've listened to this album so many times, both as a fan and when learning it to teach.
Yeah,
there's so much there to that I've
unpack,
missed.
yeah.
You know, because you're listening to the drums, you're listening to the guitars, and you're just listening to the melody on its own.
As well, like,
and the production
so good.
is who I can't remember who mixed that. Was it Crystal Alg?
No
Something
idea.
like that. Or is it? Or maybe Andy? I can't remember. I probably should know. But whoever mixed it did a damn fine job on it, and it sounds loud, it sounds upfront, but it doesn't sound compressed. Like it's really a very naturally sounding loud album, and it's great.
Yeah, it's the distorted guitars on it that you can tell that the gain isn't like right up to the top, so it's fizzy. No. It's just it's just biting point. It's not really crunchy guitars, but still they sound absolutely massive.
Roya R21 microphones.
Enough about Green Day. They get enough promo. What about your stuff? You did Area 51 on the Tuesday? No,
that was Thursday. Yeah.
Sorry,
so I was there. And we left at like 1 o'clock in the morning.
God, buddy. But that's awesome that you've got that you can be in a studio. That's it. Doing stuff until 1 o'clock in the morning, and you don't have to worry about the neighbours.
And we can hire that out at that time as well, because with Bentwaters is accessible 24 hours a day. We can just get in and out there as we please. It's nice and easy to sort of do that.
Nice.
And we've got that. I also had a rehearsal that day with Lady J. Cool. We had a rehearsal before.
You were a troublemaker.
I was a troublemaker, and I will be again this Saturday. But we'll talk about that later on.
The gig list.
The gig list. And then I also did a gig on Friday with Hoppi and the Hopfuls.
Yes, that was.
Should we bookmark our sections between the two?
I think so.
With a talk on that.
Do you mind if I play you some music, Mr. Harley?
Yes, please do.
Because I didn't get to talk about these guys on the Bank Holiday show, which is still available on our YouTube, our Podbean, and iTunes.
Spoke about it, didn't we?
Yeah, but this band, I really enjoyed their set at the Hunter Club week before last. So this is Organ of Corti with Dead End.
Nice.
Sorry, I'm not laughing at the track. That was Dead End by Organ of Corti. That was fantastic. I love that. Saw that live. Real doomy, electric wizard, stoner metal. Really enjoyed it. I was laughing at Harley just going, what did I do on Sunday? What did I do? Anyway, let's find out. Just turn the mic up. But yeah, no, they bowled me over. That was funny. When they started, I was in the bog. And I heard them play through the wall. And I heard them play through the wall. I suddenly turned on Mark Kane on this. And so I'm listening to him play through the wall. And I thought, this is some heavy stuff. I like the sound of this. I really do.
Right.
And I failed you, Bruce.
Right.
I've loved you ever since I heard you first cry through these walls, Bruce.
Get to the point.
Anyway, so I heard them from the other room, and I thought, wow, this is big. Like, this is a big sounding band. I'm picturing them in my mind, and I'm thinking big, muscular, Nordic-looking, dread-headed, long beards, like army trousers and big old Dr. Martin or army boots sort of thing.
Let me guess.
And tattooed up and like in a V-neck or something. And
glam rock.
No, the bass player, lovely guy. Don't take this anyway. Your height, Harley. Thin-looking guy. Really polite gentleman. Dressed not dressed for like, I want to be a showman. He's just there playing a bass, and he's like, ugh. And I was like, they do not judge a book by its sound. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, this is the kind of guy I'm expecting to make this music. And it wasn't them. And they still do the job well without having to fit a trope, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's cool. That's nice. I love this. Great stuff. Nice atmospherics on that.
Yeah, that's it.
If you're a big fan of Doom, doomy stuff, Ghost have a new album out.
Oh, very nice.
I haven't heard it yet, but I have. Some of my friends are goths.
Oh my gosh.
Some of my friends are goths, right? So it's okay. I know.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So They and they've
If you
been
like that
chatting.
stuff. But Organ of
about
Corti
it,
are on
so-
Facebooks, and they're on the old. I got that off SoundCloud. That was a free download.
Nice.
They've got 2 other tracks on there, and they're also working on a new EP. So good luck, guys. I'm looking
Sweet.
forward to seeing you play at a show again soon. So yeah, let's find out what happened on Sunday, Harley.
So Sunday, I woke up in my van.
Dark and grey. Sorry.
I actually slept in the van after Laura's party because I had no way of getting home and I wanted to drink.
Nice.
So I put a bed in the back of the van. Woke up, went for a nice little walk, got a few odd looks from people who had parked next to me as I stepped out of the van with a toothbrush in my mouth and just walked towards the river.
That sounds like a lyric. That was poetic.
Yeah.
That was very much stepped out of the van with the toothbrush in my hand, and I walked towards the river. You've been hanging out with too many country heads, I think.
I think what it was, yeah. I'm thinking maybe that'd be a good music video, but it will only be about 6 seconds long. So if everybody's
unless the rest of the video was just you brushing your teeth.
Oh, I'd hate that. I hate watching people swear.
Oh yeah.
But maybe if anyone's got a 6 second long song or would like to write a 6 second long song,
I think
I would do. We should film a music video for
the
it.
only band that will do that is Napalm Death. I think. Like.
Yeah, their song. How quickly could I get out of the van and run towards the river? like, I wouldn't be able to stop.
I know, yeah.
So I did that, and then I had a recording session with a singer called Ore, working on some worship tracks.
You did tell me about this, yeah.
Yeah, I worked with her previously about a month ago. We rewent over one of her tracks, revisited. That's it, one of her tracks, and she had a new song that she wanted to do work on. And
cool.
That went really well. She had two. She had her 2 daughters with her.
Uh-huh.
And they sat in the studio and they were asking loads of questions.
Did they play anything?
One of them was playing piano actually
nice.
in the between songs, and she's very good, very good.
What's this do? What does that do? What does it do?
It was that. I'm like, yes, it's a mixing desk. That does the same as the one to its left.
Can I press it? What's that? That's a DFA knob.
Yep. I was doing a lot of that just to. Yep, I need you. Can you step away from the desk whilst I just do this? Just move the fader that doesn't
They're just
work.
flicking it around.
Yeah. But no, that was really good fun. And then we had a band whose name I forget, which I feel really bad because I know the band. Do you know Nate Mountain?
No.
He's a very good bass player. He used to play for Torsion Field and played for a few other bands. But he's now singing with a band whose name I forget, and it's really bad. We may have even played some of their music.
Link in the description, though.
Link in the description below.
Right.
And yeah, they were really cool. Real low tuning, like extended range guitars.
All right. Cool.
I sat in on part of their rehearsal whilst I was mixing down some of the tracks from the recording session.
So you're listening to worship music while there's like deathcore going on in the other room or something.
It was great. It was really cool. It was really good stuff.
Oh, cool.
So they were rehearsing in the studio, and I was unlocking for them and let them in. But yeah, and then from that point onwards, it was a case of barbecuing, seeing some mates, and then I got home at 11:45 and started doing my tax return after a few beers. And tell you what, I made more progress and less mistakes last night than I did this morning.
Yeah, it's much easier when you're not hungover.
I wasn't even hungover. It's just the fact that, you know...
I love them. The taxes is great. It's brilliant. I can't wait for October. It's going to be brilliant.
I'm not a morning person. It's like literally...
You're really boring at funerals then?
Yes, I'm not a morning person. Oh, I'm really...
You're the most fun at a funeral.
Yeah. I'm the guy that turns up with a squirty flower.
You put it in a bouquet that says mum or something.
Yeah. That would be great.
Would it though? I don't think it would be great. Anyway, so Harley, I'm really proud of you. Harley did stuff well done, buddy. You just bumped me, fisted me. Very well done. Thank you. We fist bumped live on air.
Fist bumped, not bumped
not
and fisted.
Bumped and fisted?
Yeah.
No. Oh, okay.
Like in the Hot Tramp t-shirt, by the way.
Yeah, I've got to have a Hot Tramp t-shirt on. Actually, I've just found this because Frankie nicked it. And I found it in a washing basket. I was like, what is this? She's like, I washed it for you. You've had this for months and this is my favourite t-shirt. Anyway.
Does she, do Hot Tramp sell their t-shirts at gigs?
I believe this was the last one.
Oh.
But they do have loads of new stuff coming out, so I would not be surprised if there's some new merch coming out soon.
I just want to make myself more like you. I've got the burns now.
You got sideburns and now you want a Hot Tramp t-shirt.
Yeah, I'm just gonna.
That's fine. I'll just give you a Jason the Lockerbillies t-shirt. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
So yeah, right. So what did I do last week?
What did you do last week?
I don't know. What did I do, man? What did I do? One for the bingo card.
Yeah, which we were supposed to start this week. We're going to start next week. Bingo card's coming next week. Promise.
Bingo, yeah. So yeah, I had the Suffolk show on Wednesday.
Of course you did.
That was loads of fun. I was with Murray doing a duo show. You know, a year anniversary of when you played there with me.
Yeah,
Harley.
that was the first gig we did together.
We didn't have a show at that point, did we? Because I think we started.
No. Or did we?
It was like at the end of that month, maybe the beginning of the next month.
Yeah, I think we had started. No, we hadn't. We started like the week after, I think.
So, yeah, like we went live on radio.
On the radio.
From 1 o'clock with Leslie Dolphin. We were talking about the album, talking about Age UK Suffolk, which you can still check that out with our Her Loving video. And yeah, it was loads of fun. We just sort of lots of different people that from BBC Suffolk that were there that have played our tracks over the last couple of years. Getting some nice feedback about the album. I got to just sort of reach some new people really, which was quite cool.
Nice.
And then just wandered around. Saw a fantastic Caribbean steel drum band on Eat Street, which I was bowled away by. I thought they were fantastic. I've actually gotten their details because we're trying to book them for a festival in Felixstowe, so watch this space.
Nice.
They were loads of fun. Just a bunch of old Jamaican dudes that were just keeping everybody happy.
You can't be sad to
steel drum music sometimes. Yeah. It's got its darker tones just like any instrument. But I mean, there was this one steel drum player that I've always wanted to see live, but I'm not sure who he actually is. But he was on a video for like a live video with Jaco Pastorius doing the chicken.
Yeah,
you seen that? And like he plays jazz steel drum and just nails it. It's just incredible. Like if anybody can get to YouTube and watch that video, we'll link it in the description. It's just a fab video and was really inspiring. But
awesome.
Yeah, so I reckon somebody can play some like really dark steel drum stuff. They can play all these different chord tones that you can on any other instrument. Anyway, so yeah, and there was another group who I didn't catch their name, but they were right near the blacksmithing area, like sort of near like where the Helter Skelter was and all that sort of stuff. And we walked past them just to try to get to the blacksmithing thing because there was a guy having a wood chopping competition on like they were standing on a tree just chopping wood, and like as fast as they could. It was badass. But there was this band playing "Fool on the Hill" by the Beatles. You know,
right?
Like the best.
Was this near the Helter Skelter?
Yes. Right. It was meant to be. But yeah, like I'd never heard anybody do a cover of "Fool on the Hill." That's one of my favourite Beatles songs. My nan used to sit me on her lap and play that to me on the organ, and that was fantastic because it's the only time on a recording that a recorder has sounded good.
Yeah.
Lovely, and they still sound out of tune, but like I know that sounds like a recorder. Why would anybody buy a recorder when they could just have me going? No?
I want to film you just doing that, just because.
I know, because I'm miming I'm on the radio and miming what a recorder is played like.
But it's like a crab doing a tightrope.
That was my version of crabby.
Prawns.
Yes. So yeah, we that was fun. We had Leslie Dolphin in the afternoon. Then I had the Rock Project on Thursday with you guys at Old Jet, which was lots of fun.
Yeah.
On Wednesday they had a plug and play session because both Tom and I weren't there. So it was really quite cool just to hear what Rob and Dave were doing.
Yeah.
Just keep focusing on performance techniques, and apparently all the kids were really into it, so that's really cool. Well done on making lemonade.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's get on to the weekend because I had a ridiculous Friday.
Yes, you did.
I'm damning this app this Trello, what I've been using, is supposed to be updating on my calendars and hasn't, and it double booked me
Right.
for Friday. So luckily it was an engagement party and the Hoppi and the Hopefuls gig, which was super fun. But luckily the guys Vic and Antus were fine with putting their party forward so that I could still come and play with you guys. I was supposed to finish at 10:30, 11ish. I made it so that I could finish at 10 on the other side of Ipswich and then get straight on stage with you guys at 10:05. And I was so grateful of that. I was just like, thank you so much.
But you did well, man.
That was really well. I've still got a bad back because after doing the, we were talking about this on the show from last bank holiday. You can still check that on Podbean,
iTunes.
Radio.
And review us, please.
Yes, review us. Give us a review. I've still got a dodgy back, so I had to do 2 hours playing with the duo. Where Lloyd was there. Lloyd was there.
Oh, yeah.
It was nice to see him.
I haven't seen him for a while.
Right, exactly. But so it was a lovely Lord and Hannah. So and I played their wedding. So it was gorgeous. So I had to play 2 hours there. I was in so much pain. Left all the stuff for Murray to pack up, which he did. What a legend! And then came straight to you guys. Within 5 minutes, I did drive like a bit of a moron, and played another 2 hours. And by the end of it, I just collapsed in bed. That was the most close together because we only had like a 10-minute break in the first gig. That's the most close together I've played 4 hours. And I actually played a little bit extra for the engagement party. I think it ended up doing about 2 hours and 45 hike in the end.
Wow.
So yeah, I was pretty knackered by the end of that. And then I had Saturday. I had a wedding, which was gorgeous because it was what I liked about it. It was in the middle of Wilby, which is up near near Diss, and right in the middle of nowhere. The father of the bride owned the village hall, so they got it for free. The place looked gorgeous. It was just, a village hall built in the 50s, quite boxy sort of thing, but it did sound quite nice in there. The sound on stage was quite tight because we actually had a stage, which was crazy.
Oh, okay.
And unfortunately, Rayna couldn't make it because he was playing with the East Town Pirates.
Oh, yes.
Glastonwick, which I hope we get to see some pictures or some footage from.
Is that an alarm?
What?
Is that...
No, it's not. It's Glastonwick. I got halfway there.
What's the other one? I forget what it's called.
But yeah, no. So I was very, very lucky to get Mr. Harry Green playing saxophone on me. So playing saxophone on me, playing saxophone with me.
That's not good for your back,
stood on
man.
my chest. Just it still would have sounded amazing. So that was really nice. It was Murray, Rich, and I beat Harry Green. Lovely crowd of people. They were saying that you guys got everybody up dancing. Everybody loved you guys. And I said, it's a very important fact that it's not always the band that makes the atmosphere.
No,
like they were so up for dancing straight away, and were so up for singing back, clapping along, all that sort of stuff. Whenever I'd be like, all right, so guys, time for you to sing along. They'd be there. They would be repeating stuff. They'd be parroting stuff when exactly where it's supposed to be. So I said, it's a testament to your family and close-knit friends that you guys are really like up for a party for you as a couple.
Yeah.
So I was like, we could have played this exact same set to some other people, and we have in the past, close to it anyway, because I would make the set up on the spot.
Yeah.
But they'll just sit there with their arms crossed, looking at me all grumpy, just like, no, I don't want to be here.
And it's... I was listening to an interview with Martin Freeman.
All right.
And he was talking about like how the good the compliments you get and the criticisms you get. People never want to take a compliment, but they'll always take in a criticism, and that's not good. If you were to take in every bit of criticism and every bit of compliment, then you'll go insane.
Go mad, yeah.
It's taking a bit of everything and knowing, like I say, you could play a great gig to a good crowd and go, well, we did really well.
Yeah.
Or you could play a great gig to a bad crowd and go, we played a bad gig.
Yeah.
It's not... The two
go
can be...
Yeah. Yeah, true. So, yeah, I want to talk about something that happened to me last week, Harley, that I need your advice on.
Put cream on it 3 times a day.
Is this looking infected? Well, so it wasn't last week, it was the week before. Finished up a gig, and basically the promoter hadn't paid the leader of the band. I was depping for this one. She happened to be a lady, and she couldn't pay us then and there, which I'm used to anyway. I'm used to people either paying me with a bank transfer, that kind of thing, later on. But one of the band members was not happy with it at all and got very, very angry with her.
Right.
And was very confrontational. And
with the promoter? No,
not with the promoter.
Right. Okay.
Sorry, no, not with the promoter, with the singer.
Okay.
So, which is the stupid part of it. Was obviously she was a band leader, but she couldn't actually do anything about it. So, me not knowing the situation between those two very much, I was there as witness, but I didn't step in, and I didn't sit there and say, this is wrong. You should not be shouting at this person. It was getting very up in her face, very pushy with her, and it could have been violent. I don't know. I wasn't there to see them both part ways. I left in the end, and that's kind of plaguing me a bit. I'm like, I should have stuck around. But anyway, the point here is, I don't think that he would have done that to a man. I think I reckon that I think there was a bit of kind of like, oh, you're a woman and I'm bigger than you, so I can intimidate you kind of thing.
Right.
So I don't know. I'm conflicted here because I'm like, okay, so in the industry that we love, there is still exactly the same problem of sexism.
Yeah.
Of non-equality. So there's still, in this industry that we all seem to think that is rose tinted, all this sort of stuff. Like it's not equal yet, and women are still treated badly.
Yeah.
So I don't know. What would you have done?
I think it's a hard one to get right. I mean, I don't know the band, do I? No. Like, because if they're working together, they're probably close friends,
right?
And I don't know how much. I don't know, because I'm more likely to have an argument with a friend than I will a stranger.
That's true.
So the chances are they're going to be close or have
close.
known each other a while.
Yeah, they're pretty close.
Which makes things also a bit more awkward.
Yeah, because you're like, I don't know where I'm supposed to step in here.
From your point of view, like if I was in your shoes, I'd be in a real awkward situation because you don't want to look like you're taking sides. Because at the end of the day,
I'm getting paid by both of them. There are potential of me getting booked on with gigs with him in the future, and with her as well.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm torn in the middle here. But this is the problem that we face in the sort of the Me Too Time's Up era.
Yeah.
Is that it's the small changes that we make are the things that are going to make the most difference. To us, we might not notice it so much, but just having that thing to stand up and just go, look, this is not okay behaviour.
And that's a real hard thing to say to someone on the same level. You never want to be talking down to someone, because as soon as you go, you are wrong, your morals are lesser than mine.
Yeah, don't want to look all high and mighty.
Then there's a potential for a grudge, and they're less likely to listen to you. Mm-hmm. The way to make a point of someone saying something that wasn't the right thing or doing something that wasn't the right thing is to say, look, that wasn't cool. But it's a very hard thing to get right.
Yeah.
And
because it's got to happen across all industries. Everybody seems to be focusing on big high level things in the media, where it's like, CEOs or actresses or big time musicians that are calling out people.
Yeah.
So that's all right. That's in the public eye. So those people can be vilified if either they have done something horrible or are making a false accusation just to gain something from it. Yeah. Whereas on our level, where the kind of altercations that we'll be having with the kind of people that will be doing this aren't going to be huge news.
No.
It's the same thing as, what happens to somebody that works in hospitality in a hotel or in a Burger King, where their boss is being sexist or is being violent towards them. There's not going to be a big #MeToo Twitter storm for them, is it?
No.
So I think that's the big lesson of the Me Too stuff.
Yeah.
Is that it's got to work on all levels.
I had a friend of mine posted something on Facebook recently about sexism in music,
Right.
and how there's progress being made, but there's still a lot of progress, a hell of a lot of progress to be made. And I commented saying, look, I don't want to say I'm not sexist. I don't want to be sexist. However, the problems that they're highlighting aren't things that I, as a one person, can necessarily help.
Right.
Often in sort of higher levels of record companies, or booking agents booking certain acts over other acts and paying other acts more, whatever. I don't know the exact details, but what can I, as a musician that is on the same level as females who are going to be the ones who are victims, how can I help that? How can I stop that? And
I think what we're talking about here is the same. It's the same thing. Just carry on being for equality and doing that in your day-to-day life. And I think that will echo down the line, as it's such a long process, which is the annoying thing, because we want this to be like a stop. Everybody is now as equally qualified as each other, so can get just the same paying jobs, the same exposure, etc. But it's the tribalism of the fact of people hire people that look like them a lot of the time because they think they're more trustworthy because they look like them. Does that make sense? I mean, it's everywhere. The fact of that we are good mates. We're white dudes.
With mutton chops.
With mutton chops, exactly. I trust you more now that you've got sideburns.
I thought you weren't. Yeah.
No, I mean,
I stole your car.
You don't have a shifty chin. You're an oddball with
no
on
shifty
the shifty
chin.
But yeah, so it's we've got to start kind of changing these subcultures of tribalism where we only kind of will hang out with on a permanent basis, or be close with people that we just feel are like us because they look like us. It's got to be really based on what's in their brains, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
And how do we find that? We just open up dialogues and we got to talk to people rather than just sitting there going, okay, that person doesn't look like me, so they're probably not into the same stuff as me, which is utter tripe.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like Bebe from Impilo has turned me on to so much great music that if I was a racist, I would have not expected him to have given me.
No.
And so it's just utter tripe, and I think just open up a good dialogue with anybody that you can, and then that can help us to be more equal in the future.
At the pub last night, we were talking about sexism and gender issues, and one person said, the whole feminism thing, and said that essentially the war is over, but the negotiations have only just started.
The hearts and minds.
We all agree that women,
citizens.
Females, or there needs to be equality between both genders, but we need to work out
people
how.
People in power aren't paying fair.
Well, it's nobody knows necessarily how to be equal. Because we've not had it, it's exploration. This is new ground.
Yeah, we've got to figure it out, I suppose.
And we're going to do it here today.
Yeah, exactly. We've just done it. I reckon we've got time for one more song and then the gig list. All right,
let's do that.
Let's do it. So this is a band that's playing locally very, very soon. This is called "Open Up Your Eyes" by Stretch Soul Gang.
Nice ending.
Yeah, very, very tight band. That's Open Up Your Eyes by Stretch Soul Gang. You can get that on Spotify, etc. So let's talk about
and very
gig list. Let's talk about it. So this weekend.
That's made my day.
Good. So good. Well, it's coming up to the evening now. So we've got this week, we've got June 7th, we've got the Free Spirit Hip Hop Show at the Grinning Rat.
Yeah.
That is Friday, I believe, isn't it?
It is indeed.
Yeah. Wait,
no, sorry.
No, it's
7th, Thursday.
That's Thursday.
So the
Free Spirit.
Not even paying attention.
Yeah, hip hop show. Got some fantastic acts on that. I've checked out some of the stuff. Wanted to play some of it today. Couldn't find any clean versions, unfortunately.
Of course. Yeah.
Essay. He was on stage with Flex for May Day. Did a great track called Dark and Grey. That's on YouTube. Couldn't play it because it's got swearing in it. But, great track. Check it out if you're all right with the profanity.
Nice.
So, June 9th, we've got Stetsons Are Cool. That's Saturday at 9 o'clock at Grand Central.
Nice.
That'll be fun.
Yes.
Not sure how big the band's going to be, but it'll be a good party. Good old Rob will keep it going. Also, we've got a lot going on June 9th, actually.
I've got a gig on June the 9th. I'm going to be at the Sweffling White Horse. Swefflimber.
I love that word.
So
Who with?
Lady J.
And the Troublemakers. Oh,
And
did you play
Troublemakers.
with her before? There at the Sweffling White Horse.
Yes. It was a while ago, and it was quite funny because I played there probably about 3 years ago with Ors Clark.
Oh, great, yeah.
The band Horsefires. It was
Nice.
Ors, myself, and Max Wildwood. And I drew a picture of a horse on fire on the
Great.
chalkboard, and it's still there.
Crikey. So I've got a Lady J. Javu.
Lady... Oh, Deja Vu.
Javu.
Deja Vu.
Oh, Juji. June 9th, we've got a really good gig happening here at Smokehouse, which the entire lineup is sick.
Never heard them.
I'm going to try and see. They're not. Yeah, hopefully they'll get
band-
Deps if
the
they're all
band
sick.
called- yeah.
It's going to be the Display Team, ex Mumm-Ra, perhaps Contraption, and Bar Luck. Perhaps Contraption is sick. They're like a marching band, kind of like the Hackney Colliery band,
Right.
And there's lots of brass, but with sort of hip hop style drums, and but they're quite avant-garde, so you might want to check them out. And the Display Team, which I think I'd like to play at the end here, we were kind of like the Cardiacs, very weird.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Very weird. So yeah, that's part of Uncomfortable Beach Party.
Nice.
It's a different lineup to what I'm used to with them, because those guys are usually very punk, very hardcore, raw stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, that'll be fun. Also, June 9th, we've got Ipswich Fake Festival.
Oh, yeah, that'd be
Some
cool.
of our friends are playing that. I can't see the lineup on their event page, which is annoying. They've only shown the cover bands, but there are some. I think Reno and Rome are playing it.
Oh, nice.
So there's going to be.
They
some...
played last year as well, didn't they?
Yeah, exactly. June 9th, also at the Swan, we've got Ghosts of Men. Ghosts of Men, love them. What's up?
I was just going to say, if anybody, we did a post on writing a band's name in just emojis.
Yeah.
There's but we wanting local bands. So if you're playing a local band, try and do that.
Chuck them in there.
Yeah.
Ghosts of Men, In My Disguise, and Audrey Ripper at the Swan. That's at 8 o'clock this Saturday. On June 10th, which is Sunday, we got Clare Free at the Duke of York.
Duke of York, nice.
At 5 o'clock. June 10th at the Gardener's Arms. At 6 o'clock, got Jackson Co. Got some Johnny Cash stuff.
Yeah.
And we've also got from June 8th to the 10th, big deal, Homegrown Music Festival is happening this weekend.
Nice.
At the Suffolk Art Academy in Bury St Edmunds. Stretch Soul Gang, who you just heard is playing. Tom Corney, Thick as Thieves,
Hey.
April Blue, quite a big deal. The Broken Maps, Gabby, Noah Evans. The man that is. Kianos, Millie Kirkpatrick Music, The Late Breakers, Blue Mean Eyes, who we've played on this show, Falling from Trees, who we've played on this show, Among the Citizens, Phoebe Austin, The Catch, whom we've played on this show, When Rivers Meet, Lucy Grubb, the Queen's Road Studio Rock School, and the Rock Vox Choir. So that'll be fun over that whole weekend. Lots of crafty stuff. Myself, I have a gig this Friday at the Burston Crown.
Sweet.
Which will be loads of fun. And I've also got a private party at Kersey Mill on Sunday. What about you, my friend?
So I've got the Lady J gig, and that is pretty much it for me that weekend.
Very
I've got
nice.
a nice and
Chill.
easy, chill weekend.
Yeah.
I got a fun day on the Friday. I've got a sound job with a company who I don't know the name of, but doing another house auction, but not a local one. Going up to
great.
Peterborough for that one, so that'll be a nice fun day.
That's cool.
And that's the most of my work. Apart from the Rock Project, we've got our show preparation. Also, we've got our Rock Project students who are going to be playing at the Rendlesham show this Saturday.
Great.
So,
this Saturday?
This Saturday, yep.
That's
Saturday
fantastic.
9th.
Do you know what time they're playing?
I do not.
Well, it would probably be sort of like a mid-afternoon thing. So
Yes,
watch the Rock
yeah.
Project page so that you can see where these kids are playing, because they're all dynamos and they're going to be big deals.
If you are based around the Rendlesham area, go check it out.
Yeah. So definitely. I am actually doing some session work tomorrow, which I'm looking forward to with
nice.
Girls of the Internet, Tom Kerridge.
Right.
Doing some disco style stuff, sort of DJ Koze and Midland sort of stuff. So I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be like who I've been listening to in Preservation. It's the Unknown Monster Orchestra. No, Unknown Monster Orchestra. I've got to find out what they're called because they're a really cool band. Oh no, I've got to remember what they're called. And they've got a brand new album out called Black Sun. So
we'll discuss that all next week.
Yes, mate. Yeah, exactly.
And talk about some session things.
Yeah. So thanks very much for listening, guys. Sorry for rushing that last bit. Well, speaking of Russian, this next track that we're going to play is called "A Letter to Russia."
Hey, there we go.
By the Display Team. But Harley, mate, I'll see you at the Rock Project tonight.
Yeah, we'll probably go grab a bite to eat anyway. But then we'll see you next week. We'll chat next week. Bye. It's the Harley and Josh Show.